32% strikeout rate and a 6% walk rate. Look, the calling card is a 70 grade speed, but he doesn't have any pop. He does have some pop with the 9 home runs. I apologize. And he's slugging .493. The problem is he can't hit. I mean, the approach is lousy. It's very aggressive, and he's swinging at everything. And part of the problem is it's not a long swing because he's not a big guy, so he is chasing way too many pitches, and that's hard to figure out. Guys who chase pitches, in general, are cheating on fastballs, and they're trying to adjust to breaking pitches, or just don't understand the break out of a pitcher's hand. That's even worse. You're not able to pick up that spin for whatever reason. Sometimes you hear about guys having to get glasses or having laser surgery to go from 2025 to 2015 just to brighten up that clarity a little bit, just so they can pick up that spin. And that's a tough skill when you don't have it, is to pick up the spin and see those, see the laces kind of going one way. And I don't know if that's Omar De Los Santos' problem, but it's definitely an issue. Can't hit. Number 20 is Deyvison, Deyvison. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I should have actually went to pronounce names, but I did not. He is also a De Los Santos. From what I know, there's no relationship to Omar at all. He's a first baseman. He's in Arizona. He's in low A. He is 19 years old. He was 15 for 26, which is pretty hard to do in low A. It's a lot of at-bats. Home run, no stolen bases, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. And for the season, .313 batting average, a .354 on-base percentage, 11 home runs, 4 stolen bases, 25% strikeout rate, and a 6% walk rate. He's got huge raw power with plenty of swing and miss in this game. I mean, it is, it's Joey Gallo-esque type of power. I mean, we're talking 80 grade power. When you go to batting practice, it's just bomb after bomb, fence clearing bombs. So, and the fact that he's striking out 25% of the time, again, remember my cutoff is 30%. If you got a guy in low under 30%, he becomes interesting to me. Under 25% with huge raw power becomes even more interesting to me. So De Los Santos is kind of a guy I find to be very intriguing. Now, as you know, with a poor approach at 6% strikeout rate and swing and miss in his game and huge power, I struggle rostering guys like that because sometimes you chase them and sometimes they turn out to be Austin Riley, who I traded, I think, straight up for Corey Seager in a league several years ago. I don't know who I'd rather have at this juncture because I just didn't believe in Austin Riley. And I sold Austin Riley. Remember when he came up originally with Atlanta and he had like 10 home runs in the first 3 weeks? I tried to sell what I thought selling high on him, and I think I was wrong. He's a much better player than I ever thought he was going to be. So sometimes when you invest in guys like that, you do get Austin Riley. But a lot of times those guys wind up like Sully Matias, and he is, a cat in Kansas City with huge raw power that strikes out 30+% of the time, and I don't think he's ever going to make it. I just don't. So that's Deyvison De Los Santos. Apologize, I'm butchering his name. Last 2 guys are two DSL guys. Yeison Perez, Yeison Perez. He's an outfielder. He's in Milwaukee. He's in the DSL. He's 18 years old. For the season, 40 at-bats, 5 home runs, a stolen base, hitting .400 with a .442 on-base percentage. My notes are thick body with a good swing and the chance for plus power. That's all I got, guys. Bryant Betancourt, he's a catcher with Colorado. He's also in the DSL. He's also 18. 46 at-bats, 5 home runs, no stolen bases, a .348 batting average with a .458 on-base percentage. This is a really good athlete. Tons of bat speed, so a chance for some plus power. The word is most people think he will stay at catcher, but if he has to move off catcher, he's got enough athleticism to potentially play in the outfield. There you go. Those are our 16 positional players. Let's take a break, do the pitchers, then I'll review everybody, and then I'll do my analysis of George Kirby. pick up the pace here. First pitcher off the board is Bryan Bello, or I don't know if it's Bryan or Bryan. I guess it's Bryan. Bryan. Bello, Bello. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's with Boston. He's in AAA. He is 23 years old and on the 40-man roster, by the way. So we might see him at some point in the second half. He is 12 2/3 innings pitched last week, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, 14 strikeouts, and 4 walks. And for the season, he's having a great season, 79 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.49 ERA, 12 strikeouts per 9, and 3.3 walks per 9. It's plus stuff, but he's not a big guy, and the delivery has got a lot of effort in it. So if you know nothing about if all you do is look at the stat line, you see him go, oh, he has a chance to be a number 2 starter. And he could be. He could. I mean, he's athletic. He's got great stuff. He throws hard, blah, 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 blah. But when you see that delivery and you see the size of him, it just screams that there's definitely bullpen risk here. Now, that bullpen risk could be a closer. But, I was worried about Severino as well, having to go to the bullpen, and he has beaten the odds and has remained a starter. He's a little bit bigger than Bello, but and he's got a much smoother delivery. But a lot of guys that size and with that delivery wind up in the bullpen. That's all I'm saying. But look, it's fastball. It's 96, 97. He's got a killer slider. Not a great changeup. But, man, all of a sudden, here's my argument. The guy throws 96, 97, you throw him in the bullpen, sitting probably 99, probably touching 100, easy, with a crazy slider. He could be a weapon in the bullpen. Regardless, either number 3 starter, I think I was a top 35 starting pitcher, that's my fantasy ceiling, or a closer. I mean, I'm taking that risk because you need closers, right? Not everybody's going to be Garrett Cole, so bring Bello on. Number 2 is Kyle Harrison, who is quickly turning into one of the better pitchers in minor league baseball. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's with San Francisco. He's in Double A, and he's 20 years old. 12 innings pitched last week, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 20 strikeouts, 4 walks, and for the season, 60 innings pitched, 2.83 ERA, 16 strikeouts per 9, walking way too many guys, almost 4 walks per 9. It's a good arsenal, high spin rates on his fastball and slider. He is still very young now, 20 years old in Double A. That is very young. So he's still working on throwing strikes. And look, San Francisco has a long history of getting pitchers to the major leagues, and once they get them in the major leagues, even make them better pitchers, right? So invest in guys. He doesn't have a great fastball. It sits more 92 to 95. That's, for a left-handed pitcher, that's an average fastball, but it's got a lot of spin. And when you've got a lot of spin, it's got a lot of movement, and the ball will look like it's rising with that high spin rate coming in. So it's part of the reason he's getting a ton of strikeouts, 16 strikeouts per 9. He turns 21 in August, so I could see him spending the whole year in Double A, and then maybe a half season next year in Triple A before eventually getting the call. So if he's kind of a little bit under the radar, not a lot of people have heard of Kyle Harrison, particularly in some shallower leagues. If for some reason he is on the waiver wire, you need to go pick him up. The next guy is Brandon Pfaadt. I looked how to pronounce his name and now even watched a video of him. Hold on for a second. Okay. Brandon Pfaadt. That's how he pronounced his name. I just quickly went back to the interview I saw of him to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Brandon Pfaadt. That's Pfaadt. He's a right-handed pitcher with Arizona. He's in Double A. He's 23 years old. 7 2/3 innings pitched this past week. 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 12 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And for the season, 72 1/3 innings, a 4.35 ERA, 12 strikeouts per 9, and only walking 1.5 per 9. So this is a guy that had a very strong season in 2021, and quite frankly, he's done nothing to diminish what he did in 2021. He's just getting better. He's got size at 6'4". Overall arsenal probably points to a mid-rotation starter, but his ability to pound the strike zone, I think there's a chance he could exceed that ceiling. So it's a big, strong starter arsenal. Look, I wish he threw a little bit harder. Wish the secondary pitches were a little bit better, but he pounds the strike zone, and I think there's a chance for him again to be a mid-rotation or number 4 starter. Here's one of my favorite guys that I have had a chance to research and ask people about, and that is Griff McGarry, McGarry. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's in Philadelphia. He's in high A and 23 years old. So 23 years old in high A, it's a little old for that league, but I'll get into for a moment why that is. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 13 strikeouts, and no walks. The no walks is very important because for the season, in 40 2/3 innings pitched, he's got a 4.43 ERA, a 15.7 strikeout per 9, but he's walking almost 4.5 per 9. He's a fastball slider pitcher, and I've got his fantasy ceiling as a closer, and I think he could be a serious weapon in the bullpen. It's interesting. So when I was doing the research, I went back and took a look at his college career. He was a 4-year college kid. Did I write down what college it was? No, I forgot to. His walk rate in college, he was walking a batter an inning in college. So the fact that he's cut that in half in professional baseball is a testament to the Phillies getting this guy more lined up to the plate. But it's a 80 grade fastball. Well, it's probably a 70 grade fastball and an 80 grade slider. Doesn't really have much of a changeup. So he is like your classic fastball changeup. Probably can hit 100 in the bullpen with a nasty slider that's going to have questionable control. Throw him in the bullpen and let him hunt, man. And I think he could be that's why I've got him his fantasy ceiling as a closer. I think he could be a really good one. He's an interesting guy. That's Griff McGarry. Number 5 is Masyn Montogmery, right-handed pitcher with Tampa Bay. He's in high A. He's 22 years old. 8 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 17 strikeouts, and 4 walks. And for the season, 59 2/3 innings pitched, a 1.81 ERA, 15.8 strikeouts per 9, and 3.8 walks per 9. Got a solid arsenal. There is some funk in his delivery. Guys are not picking up his pitches very well, which is probably the reason he's not giving up many home runs. And, fastball sits in the low 90s, but he is, it's not great, but that's what he's got. His secondary pitches, particularly his changeup, has also shown significant improvement this year. Again, but he's getting by with that kind of funk in his delivery. Look, you want to have guys actually not get through without the funk in their delivery, but if he can actually improve his ability to throw strikes and with the funk in his delivery, all of a sudden you've got something. And yes, Masyn Montogmery, as I'm talking and looking him up, he is a left-handed pitcher, so I apologize on that. So that's why I'm thinking, again, 90 to 93, low 90s guy, so there's an average fastball is probably about 92 to 93 with left-handed pitchers. With right-handed pitchers, it's more 93 to 94. So you've got a mile to mile and a half difference between the two. That's why you can pitch at a little bit slower speeds coming in from the left hand. It's just the way the data is. It's always kind of been that even before we had all this pitch FX data. Masyn Montogmery is one of the pop-up kids this year, along with Gordon Gracefo and some other guys. Probably Bello is a kid that's really blown up this year. So there's a number of pop-up pitchers this year, and I think Masyn Montogmery is one of those. Let me take another break, get back, and let me go through all the names, and then I will review George Kirby. Another long podcast. Apologize. I got to stop talking so much. Problem is I'm actually now writing up capsules, so I've got a lot more information detail at my hand, so I can actually give you a little bit more color on some of these players. Samad Taylor, second baseman, Toronto. Look, he's just about ready. I have no idea where he plays in Toronto. Let's hope for a trade there.